Alright, yes, this is still the Daybreak Show on Rock City 101.9 FM in the city of Abeokuta. This is the voice of the people. Well, the debate about whether Nigeria needs to be restructured or not will continue to go on for a very long time. Whether that will happen or not is another subject for people to also look at. A lot of people will continue to see the different tiers of government in different lights. For instance, those who live in the community will want to strongly believe that local government is their own government. Those who enjoy the benefits from the state and the federal will also say we are the operators from Abuja or from the state capital, and then the issue of superiority or who gets the people's mandate will continue to be on forever. Recently, two prominent people, those who are chief executive officers in the country, I'm talking of state governors, came out with their own strong position that they want to hold on to, that as far as they are concerned, there is nothing like a local government. Every local government will remain an appendage of the state. It is the state governor who will determine how much they will spend. Well, as it were, or as it is right now, many of the so-called projects that were supposed to be done by the local government have been executed by the states. Even areas in which the local governments statutorily, as we've been made to believe, should be making their own IDR for. The local government themselves has voluntarily handed them over to the states. I know many years ago they say the parks belongs to the local government. They will tell you things like the radio and television licenses belong to the local government. Even mortuary fees belong to the local government.
Markets.
But today, markets, yes, we have local government markets, but all have been handed over voluntarily, you may also want to say, by these local government administrators to the states. That is where we are today. Is it right? Is it wrong? The constituent itself appears to be silent over this. This is what we'll be looking at this government. Is local government truly a tier of government? Dele Ayodo remains my name.
And I am Toby Joseph. Just like Adele has said, is a local government truly a third tier of government? Well, you might say constitutionally it is a third tier of government. You recognize it as a third tier of government, but is it truly a federating unit? That is the stance and the position of many of the chief executives in the country, talking about governors who see this local government as nothing more than a liability that they have to bail out month in, month out, because of their inability to even carry out basic functions, just like they said, and even payment of their staff, especially primary school teachers.
Not just private school teachers, to be even local government staff. Some states are the
Yes.
one paying the pensions and the
That's
salaries.
it. That's what I said. Some of them find it difficult to pay their own staff, not to now talk of teachers. That is why you will recall that the federal government is already thinking with the idea of taking over primary school education so that they can actually pay this set of teachers who operate at the local government level. But how can we make the local government truly an effective third tier of government? Some have talked about financial autonomy or total autonomy for the local government. Is that the way forward? Would that actually aid them in becoming more responsive, more responsible as regards to bringing governance closer to the grassroots, which originally should be their function? These are the issues we'll be looking at this morning. We have someone very qualified to look at this. Not only is he a lawyer, but also a one-time chairman of a local government here in Ogun State. I'm talking of Honorable Abib Ajayi. You're welcome to the Retrieving Program.
Thank you very much. Good morning, listeners.
And of course, the experience of Honorable Abib Ajayi as a lawmaker will also help immensely in the discourse. Honorable Ajayi, help us to trace how this JAC thing came about, the Joint Account Commission, state and local government. How did we come to it? Is it a constitutional provision?
Thank you very much. We can only approach this issue on the constitutional provisions relating to the relationship, between the state and the local government. Of course, even with the federal government. The Constitution of Nigeria, 1999 Constitution, I think Section 162, provides for what you call joint account. How do we mean by joint account? That part of the Constitution says that the money due to the local government in the state shall be given directly to the state government for the benefit of those local government in that particular state, in which the state will add its own contribution to that fund, and that will be distributed among the local government. So that is the interpretation of that particular section of the law. So this idea of sitting together, called JAC meeting, is brought about by the constitutional provision in Nigeria. How we are applying it is another thing.
Does it literally in its application? Is this not where the governor derived the powers from?
Yes, that is exactly the constitutional provision. But it's not all about that. If you go back to Section 7.1, it's guaranteed the local government. It says that democracy, shall operate in the local government, but each state shall determine the structure, the finance of the local government through a law by the House of Assembly of that particular state. That is the constitutional direction. Now, the state will now sit down, the legislature at the state level will now make what they call local government law. However, in the same constitution, in another schedule, I think Schedule 4 now, if I'm right, provide for the functions of that local government. The implication of that is that the state can only add to that, but they cannot remove from those constitutionally guaranteed responsibilities and functions of the local government. So I say straight away that the issue of challenges coming up from JAC is constitutionally created in Nigeria. That is pure and simple. 162 directed that fund meant for the local government
should be handed over to the
state in what they call joint account. And then we will now sit down and start distributing. But in the process of doing that, a lot of things will happen. Direction as to, yes, you have to pay for this and that. And that is why
you to pay for this.
Of course, some states will go ahead from that and created what they call joint projects, which to me, I am sorry to say, is not constitutionally guaranteed. But people use Section 7.1, in making a law for the local government and insert a lot of things there. And that is the problem. So if there is a law in your state that says the state and the local government shall embark on what they call joint projects to be jointly financed, then I think that is covered. So it's constitutionally created problem.
Now that we've identified these lacunas in the Constitution, would it be right for those who are agitating for total autonomy of the local government to actually pursue to a logical conclusion so that we can at least free this local government to function as a authority of government?
Well, the issue of autonomy of local government is, I doubt if we can get that in Nigeria without amending the constitution.
Of course, with
so the first process is amend this constitution. For me, 162 must go. Let the local government receive their fund directly
from the federation.
Yes, let us have what I call a kind of constitutionally guaranteed monitoring. Because if you go back to pre 1989, I think I'm right now, pre 1989 or before 99, there was a time, I think during Babangida,
Yeah, when
we
these
had
local
we had
governments
we
were
had
expanded to seven
we had a
circle.
bit of autonomy in the local government. That was when the idea of having what they call separation of power at the local government, first, came into existence in Nigeria. At that time, the issue of joint allocation was removed. We have this kind of joint allocation under the 1979 constitution again, but by the time the military came in, Babangida administration, stopped this idea of joint account, and local governments were taking their fund directly. But at that particular time, a lot of things were in issue. Even the salaries of local government teachers and even staff at that particular time, it got to a stage that some local government functionaries, political functionaries, I dare say, will now take those funds for projects. Money meant for teachers will now be used to do some contracts. Okay, call it developmental project if you like. But at the end of the day, they will not be able to take their salary. So at the end of the day, people will start agitating. And that was one of the reasons why they now brought in some control. I think that brought about this issue of joint account of a thing, that okay, it will go to the state. When you sit down together, then you can now monitor, so to say. But 162 did not talk about any monitoring. It says money meant for the local governments in your state, collect it, add it to your own 10%. I'm not aware in the recent history, in any state of federation for that matter, where the 10% due from the state government is being handed over or added to the money coming from the federation account. I'm not aware up to now. So the state government too is not doing anything about this finance. What the state government is waiting for is, give me the money for my local government and let's do it the way we feel it is right in our state.
All right, Honorable Ajayi. Now, clearly, those who will interpret Section 162, Schedule 4, and Schedule 47 sub 1, like you just said, to mean that the Constitution has handed local government over to the state may be right from the interpretation. We've been talking about the constitutional provision. Let's look at the political provisions that we have found ourselves now. Now, I know that here in Ogun State, I don't know if you are a member of the Assembly in 1999 to 2003, but I know clearly that when the sets of local government chairmen were elected in 1999, they were to go for 4 years, which will have politically means that it will be difficult for the state governors to have strong and direct impact on that system, because they'll be running election at the same time. But I know the Ogun State House of Assembly 1999-2003 amended that constitution to give the state the power to dissolve local government or local government tenure to expire after 3 years. And then this now makes state governors to be able to control it, which they have done effectively now all over the country till now. Now, the tenure of local government itself, how can it be challenged now constitutionally when you have, it's supposed to be a chair, like we're saying, with his own executive arm, with his own legislative arm, councillors and so. They do have them, but they remain under the whims and caprices of the state governor. How can this be challenged or amended?
Well, let me say straight away that the problem of tenure, the challenges coming from different interpretations or different approach to tenure of office of political functionaries at local government, is again constitutionally created. And how do I mean? Check the 1999 constitution. There is nowhere it is stated that the local government, the tenure of local government political functionaries shall be 4 years, like we have in the states and of course the federal government. There's nowhere. It's only when people say they pick up some section of the constitution, like where it is said that you have to declare your assent to the code of conduct in 4 years or so. They now say yes, once that is provided, So it means
That means
after
you have
4 years.
to-
But that is interpretations. Lawyers will give any form of interpretations, and the court is there to interpret for them. But the point I'm making is that unlike specific provisions in the Constitution with regards to tenure of office for state and the federal, nothing like that is in the Constitution. So we go back to section 7.1, where the state is given the power through a law to determine the structure, the finance, the whatever tenure, and so on and so forth. So people will now sit down and say, yes, in my state, I want 4 years. That will be by local government law of that particular state. In my state, I want 3 years. Now, we didn't stop there. Fortunately, I was in the assembly in 1999 to 2003. It came about that at a particular time we felt that, hold on, local government were surely not doing anything, a lot of political intrigues. And so we made an attempt and said, look, we're going to reduce your tenure. Because we have the power by section 7.1, to create, to provide the structures, finance and whatever, through a law of that particular, of our state. So we now said, we will give you 2 years. So we received some, kind of yes, that what are you guys doing? What do you think you are going to do? Blah, 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 blah. It is not this, it is not that. But my position there was that, look, let's go into politics. If you want to insist on the law, the lawmakers will justify it. They will use sections, 7.1, and then give you a particular tenure that suits them. But that is politics. So when you have a situation in which state, quote and unquote now, through the state legislature, is giving the mandate to determine the tenure, then you have politics. So at the same time, the state government, the executive, might have some influence on the legislature, and then a lot of things will come in.
That takes me to my next question. 1999-2003 state that legalized these 3 years for state. I know that within that period, the then chairman of Adodota local government, Musa Ifelamidi, challenged this. Olusegun Ochoba was the governor. What was the influence of the executive arm, albeit the governor, in the House decision to change that law?
Let me say this clearly, because I was involved. I must confess now that the state governor then, Chief Oshoba, vehemently opposed our move. He vehemently opposed our move. He felt that some of us in the assembly were eyeing the local government, and some people in the local government too are coming to the house, a kind of rivalry. So the then governor was, totally opposed to this move, and it didn't sail through. So we left that particular provision of 3 years. But I tell you another thing. During that particular time, there was a crisis in one of the local governments in Ogun State. I think Abeokuta South,
yes,
where some political, let me call them political juggernauts, went into the council because they were not happy with the administration and so on and so forth. It led to serious political crisis, conflicts, where, a kind of serious crisis. And so at the end of the day, so we rushed back to the House of Assembly and look at it and now said, well, what is going to happen? That was when we inserted the provision of suspension of local government chairman by the executive. We now gave the power to the governor, to suspend for a period of time. Firstly, we said, okay, 3 months. Then later it was amended to another renewable term of another 3 months. So if not for section 7.1, I don't think we'll be able to do this.
Now that takes me to the issue of how these local governments and their officials have been turned to mere house boys or errand boys of the governors. Would you, if you were to look back at that provision that you inserted in the Constitution,
in the law of the state,
which guides the setup of the local government, would you agree that that particular provision has taken out the autonomy the independence, and of course the powers of this chairman and the officials, and handed it over to the governors. Because if a sitting chairman knows that, well, I can be suspended and I can lose this position because the governor is not happy with me, then it becomes an errand boy.
Well, for me, I don't think. You see, we have to look at situations, particular the circumstances of every situation.
Yes.
Now, nobody envisaged that we will have a crisis to the extent that the local government will be locked up. You know, as in locked up.
Locked up, yes.
And so, what is going to happen? Now, at that particular time, they had the councillors as legislative arm of that particular local government under reference. The executive, the chairman and his supervisors constitute the executive executing, at the local government. But somewhere along the line, because of political intrigues and what have you, there was crisis. So at that particular point in time, in an ideal situation, the legislature will look at the conduct of the executive and commence what we call impeachment proceedings. But that is not what happened. So then, but the state, you cannot fold their arms and allow crisis
to engulf a local government.
In a local government. So for a governor to be able to intervene, there must be some backing, law that will back that action of the governor. So at that particular point in time, we have to put it there that governor shall have the right to suspend. But the situation is that under what circumstances, I think we put if it is impracticable to govern the local government, and I can't really remember how we couched it.
Not a blanket.
So some circumstances must occur before the intervention of the state, of the governor of the state. But if that will be a guide, then fine. But if we will now say, hey, since there is a particular provisions in this local government law of our state, hey, I better just become the appendage of the state government, then the issue of autonomy entity that we are talking about will forever elude us.
Now, Honorable Abiwajai, one major headache of Nigerians has to do with the productivity level, the efficiency of local government. They, to so many people, have failed in this regard. Even a local government can hardly be find local government able to even grade a road, not to talk of construct an irrigation channel, or maybe even paint a market or do whatever it is that used to obtain. But you now have governors, especially in the southwest here, creating local council development authorities, LCDAs, where the existing local government are not doing what they are supposed to do. What is the rationale? How would you assess this development?
Well, for me, I don't agree that fund is available for us to have LCDA, with due respect. Because to run a government at any level, the fund must be there. Now already we are saying that the resources even coming to the state and local government has gone down tremendously. Now, how then do you create other entities called local government? I think this idea of LCDA is politically, motivated for the reasons best known to those who believe in it. But if I take you back to the time of Governor Tinubu in Lagos State, that was first attempt in Nigeria, to my knowledge. There was a move to create more local government. This is provided for, I think, in Section 8 of the 1999 Constitution. There are certain things you have to do to create local governments. Local government, not LCDA that we now have. At the end of the day, you have to submit, because in Ogun State during that time, we went to the National Assembly. I was a principal officer. I was in charge of the constitutional amendment and what have you. We went to the National Assembly Well, we created 30 then, I think 30. So we went to the National Assembly in accordance with the constitutional provision that says whenever you finish it, this thing has to be stamped. Your creation, your has to be approved by the National Assembly. Now, when Tinubu attempted creating local governments in Nigeria, having finished all this process, they submitted these local governments, the newly created local governments in Lagos State, to the National Assembly. And the National Assembly did not do anything about it. Because when that is, and the reason is not far-fetched, when you create more local government in your state, and the local government will draw funds from the federation account. Already we have 774 local governments in Nigeria. So if you are adding from Lagos State, Southwest Nigeria, coming another 30, that means the money meant for the local governments throughout the federation will have to be shared to inclusive of these newly created 30 local governments. The implication of that is that in our own state, we are also looking at it and say, oh, hold on. So these people are now getting more funds through the local government to their state. Why don't we create local government in our own state? I think that was what informed the National Assembly at that time, and they stopped action. They did not do anything about it. Of course, don't even forget that the Lagos State government then went back and created that particular local government. And Obasanjo government said, hold on, you can't get fund. That was when they started to, in fact, they stopped the fund to the state and they went to the Supreme Court, even though the Supreme Court at the end of the day declared that action as null and void. But the point is that the Lagos State government now looked inward and started funding this newly created local government. And Lagos State came out and said, no, we have not created local governments. We have created what they call SCDA. And so that is what states in other part of the federation are trying to do. So all the resources for your local government in your state, we now pull it together using the advantage of section 162 now. And say, since the resources are coming to me at the state level, I can now share it to whatever LCDA, or take, for instance, money coming to Abeokuta North, for instance, will have to be shared between the constitutionally recognized Abeokuta North local government of Ogun State and other LCDA created out of the existing Abeokuta North. So, at the end of the day, tell me, the money is not coming from you have political functionaries at those LCDA.
Okay, now this takes me to a more radical school of thought. We believe that since we have agreed that these local governments are nothing but appendages of the state, and especially the state governors, why don't we just totally scrap them? What's your thought on this?
I don't share that sentiment. We cannot scrap local government. I think local government should be allowed to have direct access to whatever is their fund. The local government should be allowed to run their administration. Let me give you an instance. Through Jack, a lot of issues, state government deducting money and the rest. But honestly, I look at it. When you this is how it happened. You read in the newspaper, your local government is getting 100 million. Okay? When you go for Jack, you come with 35 million naira. You wonder how it is. Now, enlightened members of your local government will say, hold on, from what was read out at the meeting in Abuja between the Federal Minister of Finance and the state commissioners, what we had was that your local government, local government, that's what people will say, receive 100 million naira. What's this Mr. Chairman telling us? And then say, sir, this is the allocation paper, 35 million naira. Then ask me why. Now we go back and say, yes, because the way previous government or administration handles teacher salaries you have accumulated.
So I hope you pay.
You now say, yes, your local government A, we have done the head count of your teachers in the primary school because you are in the urban. People don't want to go to quote and unquote rural councils. Now you have 500 or 1,000 teachers, primary school teachers, out of which you have about 60% of them from level 14 and above. The implication of that is that whereas local government A is paying with about 20 or 18 million naira for teacher salary, local government B in the rural area will just be paying 6 million. So from my 100 million naira, 18 gone to the teachers. Then we look at it and say, yes, we have created traditional council because it's already a creation of local government. You have this, you have that. 5% of what is coming from you generally goes to traditional council, and this money move en block into that council. Now you are reducing this amount. Then they look at it and said, local government pensioners, they have your local government even before 19 so you are having these arrears, and so we are telling you to start paying them gradually. So set aside 20 million for pensions. So 18 whatever million out of your 100. By the time you now get to the council, the local government where you have to run, you are going there with 35 million. When you now sit and say, yes, local government staff, let us discuss our salary. Political functionaries, people say it's Bemuaremu, is whatever it is. We look at it and say, yes, from Mr. Chairman to the Mr. Special Assistant to the Chairman. These are creations that gulf money. You know, there is nothing we can do about it. It's either we're ready to run the local government democratically or so 35 million naira to share. What happened? The staff salary already, I'm talking of what we call civil servants of that local government, is already 32
35
out of 35. And when you look at political functionaries, it's governing about 9.
So you are in minus.
You are in minus. So the next thing you do is to rush to the bank. Now, bank, give me 10 million naira. Add it to 35 million naira. That makes it 45. Bank is waiting. They are ready. But their interest, and then it's coming again. That was the situation some of us met on ground. So the local government incurs some debt, even to the banks. So when you now have this, they say, yes, go and settle. You are owing so bank 80 million. So we are going to deduct 10 million for this bank because they are already writing us as a state government that you are indebted to them. So this is a situation where influences comes in. So you now look at it and people will ask you, then you now be wondering, they gave me 35 million naira and I look at it, this is 100 million naira. But these deductions were clearly stated. Even there was a time we bought graders. I can tell you, for almost 3 years we were paying this grader, these new graders in the local government. So the problem is constitutionally created. Leave the local government. If you don't want them to be appendages of another government, create an entity who will be able to exercise their own affairs or conduct in their own way, subject to the constitutional directions.
The Honorable Ajayi, that again re-emphasizes the question to be asked. All these problems are there. Naturally, they will not disappear because one government inherits debt of the other government and it keeps increasing, particularly salaries. Even if you clear salary for this month, next month it is accumulating.
Yes.
So does not now substantiate that position of those who believe the local government should go completely?
No, local government
because it's now a political creation or a political
yes, local government
structure.
should not go completely. Remove section 7.1. Let the structures, functions, what have you of the local government be determined by the constitution, just like, you understand, just like it is done to the state and federal government. Why should we not have tenure of local government under our constitution? Why should we not have what we can, functionaries, the number of functionaries that we are entitled to in the local government? Why should the local government not be able to determine, look, this is total number of political functionaries we will need. This is the total number of even civil servants that we need in the local government to be able to function effectively.
Can that be determined? The sizes, function, needs of each local government differ. So
well, that's what I mean. If you say, for instance, that a local government shall have chairman, I'm talking of the constitutional provision now, vice chairman, 6 supervisors who will have like a commissioner in various departments, and then you now say that the each ward of the local government should have councillors. And why not put it there? You can say that, yes, my state is large. I can have 25 councillors, while yours is just, 300 councillors across the state. Why in your own state you don't need more than
quickly, Honorable, before we break. So let us also look at the other monster involved in this local government administration, the political aspect of it.
Yes.
We just talk about creation of local government. We all know that it is beyond the constitution. The gains, federal government allocations and other benefits comes in. Local government size is also a determinant. A state with 40 local government obviously gets more than a state with 20 local government, and everybody is rushing to jack up that. So that is the political monster involved in the existence of this one, and then the use by governors of local governments to build their structure. So rather than looking at the solution from the constitution, can't we look at the solution from the political angle?
Yeah, the political angle is clear. Let's stop usurping the functions of local government. When it is not necessary, why are we creating LCDA? Where the fund is not there, why are you creating more problems? These are the issues. The point is that we should allow local government to stay with elements of autonomy. Let them determine their affairs. Let's rescue local government. We don't have to scrap them. Let's rescue local government. State and federal government should not infringe on the revenue of local government under the guise of deductions, under the guise of joint projects. Why are you having joint projects? Why should I come and, as a local government, say that I must do project with you as a state government? It's not fine.
And that is why many of the local governments can't have any.
They cannot.
All right, we'll talk more about this. We'll still have in the studio Honorable Habib Ajayi in the studio. In the meantime, you can start sending your comments, questions, and contributions to the short code 32120. Type ROCK, ROCK, leave a space, type your message, include your name, and send to 32120. On Twitter, our Twitter handle remains at RockCityFM. Just tweet your contributions. And on Facebook, RockCityFM 11.9 is our fan page. After the national news, we'll be back. Stay with us.
For still being there, Rock City 101.9 FM in the city of Abeokuta, the Citizens Forum this morning, looking at the local government as a tier of administrative tier of government in the state. Remember, the constitution says there is the federal, the state, and the local government. We have been told that section 162 and section 7 subsection 1 gave those powers. However, there can be state laws that again tainted whatever the provisions are in favor of the state against the third tier of local government. We have with us comfortably a lawyer, a lawmaker, and former council chairman, Honorable Habib Ajayi, who was a former chairman of Abeokuta North local government. Honorable Ajayi, we are looking at the possible political solutions rather than insisting on the provisions of the constitution to get some of the problems solved. Because as it is right now, residents of local government Even staff, workers in local government will say, as far as they are concerned, they have not been seeing the impact of anything called local government today. And that's the situation, not just in Ogun State, we must be frank with ourselves, almost everywhere in the country. So, where are the possible political solutions to this issue?
Well, first one is that we must ensure the autonomy of the local government, whether we like it or not. We tell the autonomy, I know that.
What autonomy? What does autonomy mean?
A situation where a local government will not be an appendage of the state or federal government. Each government must exist not as an appendage of another. That's what it means by autonomy. They should be able to exercise their own will in the conduct of their affairs, free from direction of another government. That's simply what autonomy is. A discretion which local government enjoy in regulating their own affairs. It presumes that they possess the power to take decisions independent of external control within the limits laid down by the law, by the constitution or the law of that particular state. So that is the point we are talking about local government. So my position is that with that autonomy, real autonomy, fund will get to the local government unhindered. You see, another one is that when you truncate the tenure of local government election functionaries by replacing them with caretaker or transition committee, it creates problem. And of course, the Supreme Court has said that caretaker committee to run local government council is an aberration. It's an aberration of sections.
Governors are still doing
yeah,
it.
Of course. Oh, they are doing it, but it depends on what people in that local government are able to do. If they challenge these things, and I know that it is challengeable. I mean, pronouncement has been made by the highest court of the land, and so whether we continue to engage in it is another thing. So we need restoration of functional democracy at the local government level. Functional democracy. How do I mean? First of all, you have to find a way of removing section 162(6) on this joint account, because that section says there should be a special account to be called joint local government.
That's why I asked for a political solution. But quite honestly, even you, if you are the governor today,
yes,
or you have your eye on being the governor and you get there, we all know the advantages being in control of local government means to a governor. None of them will want to drop this power and let these advantages go. That is where they build the structures to control the entire state and the political machinery. So why would any politician, including you, let the state go?
Okay, I put it back to you with due respect. How were they able to manage it before the before the introduction of section 162(6)? How were those at the aim of affairs at the state? You might say it was during the military, so to say, the kind of military political functionaries. How were they able to do it? Despite that, you can still exercise some influence on the local government without really dipping your hand into their money, in the process of what you call deductions. I'm being frank now. We can exercise political control on this local government. I mean, there is no doubt that a state governor will have a take, gets what at the local government level. No doubt about that. It is when you get there that you now talk of your autonomy in the real sense of the word. But how do you get there first? If you are tagged as Mr. No compromise, there is no way you can get to that position as far as local government is concerned, even if you are loved by your people. What will happen is that you have to run under a political party. Then who is the leader of that party in that particular state? So political influence, yes, we can exercise it, but I must say this: if you don't remove that particular section away from it, we can never get there. We can never achieve. Okay, is it not that 162(6) that some state government now use to do what they call state and local government joint projects? Where is that? Where is that in the 1999 constitution? But you can, through the law of a state, introduce that and call the local government and say, look, since this fund is coming to the state, to you, through the state to you, and we at the state level we also have some money, why don't we add it together and do projects? But my personal feeling is that who get credit for these projects?
The two of you.
No, please. Because people at the local government are saying that, yes, this man should come and give account of what he's been able to do for the past 3 years. What has been his achievement. But whereas you have contributed to some substantial amount of money to, assuming you have a different political party at the state, different from the local government. So if you now have what we call joint projects, would they say party A, my achievement in my local government is the achievement of my party as party A? The achievement of the state government at the state level is the achievement of the party B. So when I now come and say that, you know what the party B is doing, I contributed to this because there is what we call local government and state joint projects. This is the reality. So we must start by removing that. Now, you see, under the guise of ensuring accountability and probity and even development in the state, that is what they are saying, you know, call for this joint project. Now, again, when you look at appropriation of fund, if you don't do appropriation fund directly to the state government, I mean to the local government, I don't see how the state will not pass law that will empower them to make use of local government fund. I've told you an experience.
Okay.
You go there, you see what deduction is meant for. Yes, we have deducted this for your teacher, we have deducted this for your projects. That's all. And then you go home with nothing. So, solution, let's rescue the local government. State and federal government should not infringe on the revenue yielding areas of local government. That's another thing. If you
all right, we have to let our listener be a part of it. We'll talk about that. I'm interested from your experience. How did the local governments now submit the areas in which they get their idea to the state markets? So how that, but let's begin to receive messages, calls from our listener. 0809868734 and 09.
All right, Oshoko Tose sent this message. For some governors to say local government has liabilities is uncalled for. Those governors that make such statements are they not from a local government? They are not being sincere to the people that voted them into power and their roads. Okay, this one says. Good morning, Honorable Abib Ajayi. Option A4 could be regarded as sense out of nonsense of one of our past leaders. And local governments are receiving the allocation directly from federal government. It was when they became reckless spenders that they merged them with their state. Now, if we want them to stand back on their own, it is a welcome development, but they need to be monitored. That's Abiodun. And this one says, good morning, all. If you consider and evaluate what the local government system used to be, even since the 60s, one honestly would prefer a situation of scrapping state government for local government, which is the closest to the people. It makes good for effective democratic government. Take note of that. That's Olado's show. And Demola scrapping.
The state.
Some have actually proposed that we should just have the federal and the local government and scrap the state. And local governments should be expunged from the constitution. Each state should create a local government that it can cater for. Northern heads of state created 2/3 of 774 local governments in Nigeria for the north, so as to access funds monthly from the federation account and also to have majority seats in the House of Representatives. Otuba Debo sent in that one. Your guest has totally opened up a canker worm that has eaten deep into the local government administration. I was part of the last local government administration in Ogun State. Only 20 million naira were given to each local government for 3 years, and we spent the rest. They said was the 3 years we spent The rest, they said, was used for joint projects with the state, which led the local governments to be moribund till today. No local government performed during the 2012 and 2015, but we cannot open up because of witch hunting and security issue. Ola from Agor sent in that one. Honorable Abi, please can you answer the question of what happens about why we still have some local government chairmen uh, building hotels here and there. That's why they trust and believe to the commitment by the people they claim to serve. In short, their overseeing nature is questionable because they owe staff salaries and even various bank loans are still yet awaiting liquidation. It happened before now, this issue of multiple choice. Maybe that's why those governors don't want autonomy for local government. They sent in that one. Let Ogun State government remove their hands from the local government fund and also stop selecting candidates for local government election. Then we will witness performing local government. Olade Shademola says, I am opposed to mushrooming of local government under the guise of LCDA. It's sacrificing grassroots development for selfish political gains. Money for development goes for overhead of political appointees. Honorable Abi Wajayi, please, sir, as a former chairman of Abeokuta North local government, what's your advice to this so-called LCDA chairman? That's coming from Shola. Okay, and this one says the local governments have been reduced to zero in terms of revenue generation, agric, health, sanitation, and road maintenance in this country as a third tier of government. It has been hijacked by some state governments. May God help us. That's coming from Shuaga. And this one from Olaola Ruben says, is it the constitution that gave the council chair not to implement any project at all since 6 years in Ogun State? Thank you. All right, you want to react before we go to it?
Well, thank you very much. The first caller talked about scrapping of local government, and because in some other part of the world, like Great Britain and others, they see development here and there, and so if we cannot see those development, the local government should go. But I think the caller should probe more on why, despite all these constitutional provisions, despite money being disbursed to this local government, why development continue to elude us. This is one thing I believe. I do not share that sentiment that local government should go. And what we should do, if we have to do it at all, is to ensure that we monitor the local government and not to supervise them in such a way that we make them an appendage of another level of government. Yes, Chief Onobawo, yes, law, we must be guided by the provisions of the law. I share that sentiment too. Law is law. That is why we have said that look at those provisions of our constitution. Those ones who feel that is militating against the development at the local government, let's find a way of amending them so that we can move on from there. Dr. Nkom wants us to determine that Nigeria should determine who gets what at the local government. I mean, the implication of what his contribution is that Nigerians should find a way of ensuring people of credibility at any level of government. That is the point. If those of us who are professionals who can do our own bit will fold our hands, then definitely motor parks and guys will come in and they will seek their vote from the electorate. And if they have money to throw about, definitely they will get there. And they will be the one that will run the affairs of any level of government for us. Yes, can local government work without supervision? Yes, constitutional supervision, credible supervision, not to make them an appendage. I believe they can work and they can also be supervised. But the supervision must be in accordance with the laid down rules and law. This will help us. What are you doing about IGR when you are talking of money from the state? Of course, somebody even said it. Look at the constitutional provisions of functions of local government, and you will determine this whether or not state governments across Nigeria have not, take over the responsibility of local government from where they can make money in form of IGR. What is tenement rate? That is responsibility of local government. Who is collecting tenement rate now? If you have not seen the state government officials in your house asking for tenement rate, then wait until they will come. Shops and kiosks is part of collection of shop and kiosk rate, but now you have marketing board being run by the state to control the markets. Offer on liquor license, that one too is taken over. Naming of the street is another area with local government make money in form of IGR. What has happened to it? You now have board or committee handling that at the state level. Even the right of occupancy in the rural area, I'm not sure if you have seen one. Throughout my tenure, I did not sign any occupancy because I had not been given that power. But I know that constitutionally I'm entitled to do that. But you do that, then nobody will recognize it. I've not even seen a precedent to use. So these are areas where local government can make money, but I say with all respect, states across the Federation of Nigeria have taken over this responsibility. Some of us, well, I must react to some of these things. Some of us are what we are before we got to the council or to the government. Some of us are professionals. Some of us can think of what to do with our future. So if a local government personnel or functionaries get into position, I think the responsibility to make sure that he perform in accordance with the law. And if he's making progress in his life, I think the issue is whether or not there has been some constitutional breach. Some of us, as I said, are what we are before we get to the government. Scrapping the local government, I said, scrapping the state, that is fundamental. I know in Britain, I'm not aware of state government in UK.
No, it's borough, which is the equivalent of local government.
So states, that shows that if you allow local government to develop, you can run it effectively. If we don't have a state government in Great Britain up to today, and we have only the central government and then the local government in form of borough, and they are still performing well, then I think we can do something wonderful, with local government. But as I said, the issue is that let the state government contribute their own 10%. The law enjoins the state to bring down their own 10%. I'm not aware of any state that have brought their own 10% in the recent, since 1999, the emergency of the 1999 constitution. I'm not aware of any state who can come and say, yes, I'll put down my 10% of the IGR of the state for purpose of being shared by the local government. And of course, I agree with you. The heavy cost of implementing separation of powers at the local government is also a threat to local government autonomy, because a lot of money goes into it. You pay this, you pay legislature, you pay executive, special advisor for this. But this one can be curtailed if the law says this is the total number you will have. And then you start reducing money, and then the local government will still function. When the local government are even made to pay for some unbudgeted expenses, like sometimes they say, yes, assist the NOAA, assist the National Population Commission, assist the INEC. All these things goes into it, and at the end of the day, where will you get money to develop the local government area? So it's either we make it clear through the constitutional provision. Those who are saying that leave the affairs to the state, then we should get what we want. We should get what we desire. If you say yes, just allow the state to create local government, let them function it, let it be under their supervision. I'm for it. If you want the state, take over completely. Let them be a department in the state. I know there is a time in this country where there was a directive that they should scrap all the Ministry of Local Government, because they believe it's an aberration. That government believe, I think it's Babangida, I can't remember vividly. They believe it's an aberration. But now we have the local government ministry. What are they doing? They are supervising and monitoring. Of course, must be in accordance with the law. So it depends on what you put down in your local government law of the state. But you cannot make a local government law that will take over the responsibility enshrined in the Constitution of Nigeria. So, as I said, let's rescue the local government. State and federal government should not infringe on the
Let's
revenue.
go back to the messages.
So, all kind of deductions from local government should stop. All kind of deductions. Let them, you see, the deductions sometimes they justify it, because if they say you have to pay teachers, why don't you go to your local government and pay your teachers from what you are getting? Let everybody, if you can have what we call a joint meeting at the end of each allocation, let the representative of the primary school teachers be on the table. This is what we have gotten. This is our money. I know that in some states, the state now assists the local government to pay off the salaries of functionaries. But of course, is the money coming from the federation?
All right, let's add the other messages to it.
All right, these are tweets coming from those on Twitter. Taiwo Tunulokwe says the local government of Nigeria has no future with the 1999 constitution. The document should have been silent and vest the powers of State House of Assembly. It's only in Nigeria that a supreme document governing a federation will go to the extent of naming local governments one by one. It's not done anywhere. All right, Shionfumi Odunowo says if the federal government of Nigeria really wants the local government to survive, it had better deal directly with them rather than through the state government. The Sumutajidin says local government chairman of the Daniel administration built schools, health centers, and purchased patrol vans for the police, etc. All right, Yami Da Vinci says, I have seen travesties, but that of local governments being governor appendages is just too much. The inner city roads across Ogun State are a testimony to this. Local governments are just sent out paying salaries and NYSC clearance and CDS meetings. The governors have taken over half their funds for jamborees, a situation where people need health centers, but the governors take local government money to build bridges where there are no traffic. Is immoral. Honorable Habib, what is your take on state independent electoral commissions conducting local government elections and not INEC? Left to me, a lot of powers people are calling to be devolved from the center will go to local government. So when I don't have light, I will go to Ake and challenge my chairman. That's Yemi Da Vinci. Tonat Sin says, let the local governments be extra ministerial departments of the states. The state governments will always muzzle them with the current constitutional arrangement. Your take.
Well, local government state electoral commission, again, that's a creation. The constitution gives the power to the states to create their own electoral commission, and that electoral commission will conduct elections to the local government, of course using the voters list of the
guideline of the national.
Not necessarily the guideline, the voters. They need the voters list, which is provided for by the INEC. So, but some people says he who pay the piper dictate the tune. But you and I know that there can be some influence on the part of those who appointed the State Electoral Commission. Of course, the same thing goes to the federal government who appointed the personnel of INEC. But if we really want independence, I think these people can conduct election independently without any influence, and go by their oath of office to ensure independency of their work. For me, I believe that State Electoral Commission should go. Let INEC conduct all the elections, since all local governments are to be listed in the constitution. Funds are to come directly from the federation account. States will be there to monitor, supervise in accordance with the laid down arrangements or provisions in the constitution. When we have all this in place, I think we can give the local government a trial.
Now, listing the 774 local governments in the constitution, can it be said to be helpful? Because that's part of the problem, the difficulty in states creating local government when you already have all the 774 local governments listed in the constitution.
Yeah, it could be helpful where you do not have section 162. You understand what I mean? So we all know what the local government we should have in Nigeria, and where we don't give the state the responsibility of creating local government, LCDA. Of course, the Section 8, I think, provide for the creation of local government. Of course, the last point is that the National Assembly will still have to give their nod to it. So, for us, put all the local governments in the constitution. Let us have a way in which there will be direct funding, and then limit the number of local governments to be created, so that we will not have a situation, we will not have an imbalance. One state is having 40 local government and another is having 20 local government. This is not good for our development.
All right, thank you very much, Honorable Abib Ajayi, for your invitation this morning. I appreciate your contributions on the show.
It's been my pleasure. Thank you very much.
Thank you to our listeners. Thank you to those who contributed. Here I've had a short code via Facebook page or also via the Twitter handle. And those who called, we appreciate every one of you. That's our show this morning. Tomorrow is the open edition of the show. I am Toby Joseph.
And I am Dele Ayodo. I say God bless you all. God bless Nigeria. God bless Rock City.